everybody. Welcome back to Tech Sheck and on to another special session. And as always, we're bringing interesting, new, unique concepts to you from Pakistan. And today, we're very honored to have Ali Sarfaraz, the CEO of Karandaaz Pakistan, with us. Karandaaz is a great foundation that's been set up to economically empower individual Pakistanis and include those who typically don't get a chance. And with that, Ali, thank you for being on the show.
Thank you very much for the invitation. It's a pleasure to be with you.
Thank you, Ali. And as we do in typical Tech Sheck format, we jump right in. Ali, tell us a little more about you. Tell us a little more about Karandaaz.
Thank you. Well, about myself, I am an engineer by education and then worked in public sector, in development sector, and in private sector in different capacities. And I've been with Karandaaz since 2016. About Karandaaz is a not-for-profit entity which has been capitalized by the Foreign and Commonwealth Development Office and Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. You've already mentioned what our mission is, but how we achieve that vision is by financially including individuals and unbanked and underserved enterprises, which are specifically micro, small, and medium enterprises, and create those economic opportunities for them. So that's what Karandaaz is.
Fantastic. Great mission, Ali. And I've had the fortune of kind of seeing some of the activity you guys have had and the impact you're having on the Pakistani environment. So thank you and thank Karandaaz for what they're doing at this time. And with that, so Ali, just trying to understand a little more, I've read recently there was a fintech play that was helped to be developed by Karandaaz called Rast. Can you share a little more about what's going on in that space?
Yes, absolutely. Rast is an instant payment system. And it will provide the essential rails for the digital financial service providers in order to innovate, to transact digitally. Now, Rast was delivered by Karandaaz in partnership with the State Bank of Pakistan.
Okay.
And this when we had the financial support of Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation for this particular payment system. Now, the payment system essentially enables the fintech, and the beauty of this system is that it will allow all the banks and non-banks, fintechs to directly connect the system. So it becomes much easier for those entities to connect to the system and innovate. So imagine previously a fintech solution came up and they had to integrate with banks. So they had to do one-to-one integrations, and if you have 35 banks in the country, just imagine the kind of problems and the costs it would entail. Now, a fintech solution comes up, they have the system has the capacity and capability that the fintech connects directly to the Rast instant payment system, and they start offering and delivering their services to the customers. Now that would spur innovation. Other important point is that other entities which are non-bank entities, such as the SAS program, can connect directly to this system and deliver payments, the social transfer payments, to the beneficiaries directly into their accounts without going through several hops, which they do right now. Mm-hmm. And similar is, for example, a use case which we are thinking about is the payment of salaries and pensions of public sector employees currently being done by the Accountant General, Pakistan Revenue, and those payments could be made through this system. They can connect directly to the Rast payment system and make those payments directly into the accounts. Right now, they have to go through various steps. Rast is based on the level 1 principles. It's open, which means anybody can connect. It's interoperable. It is based upon APIs, which means the connectivity is easy. It's based upon latest ISO standards. And it will have a directory function, which will enable customers to tag their accounts with, let's say, their mobile number. And then any other person can send money just on the mobile number, right? Without knowing all the details that right now we need to know. the bank name, the bank account, the name of the individual. All of this will become very easy and very simple, and the payments could be made instantly. It will also help in bringing uh, merchant payments through QR codes much easy, and the system will has a very high throughput, because unless you have a system which is capable to handle a large number of transactions, that system does not work. So these are all the features in the RAST instant payment system, which has recently been launched by the Prime Minister in Islamabad.
Excellent. Well, this is great news, and obviously something that helps potentially even out and smoothen the flow of financial transaction in Pakistan, which
Yeah,
is good to hear.
yeah.
Just a question around that. So, what do you sense is the timeline for the implementation around this?
So that's a very good question that you've asked. So having the system in place is one thing, but the next big challenge for us will be the use.
Hmm.
We are energizing some of use cases for bulk payments, and we are hoping that those use cases will be energized over the year. But then, the important is the uptake of the system,
Right.
and that needs the digitization of the entire value chain up to end customer.
Hmm.
uh, I cannot put an exact timeline on that, but what we do hope is that with this system in place, entities like potentially Google Pay can come to Pakistan and start offering their services. They're already they don't have a distribution channel a challenge, because they're already present in everybody's mobile phone.
Sure.
So once we have those kind of service providers in the market, I'm confident that the uptake you'll see a hockey spike, which we are hoping to see. Now, what that exact moment will be, that is very difficult to predict at the moment.
Understood. So, I take it you are, though, actively letting people like Google Pay know, hey, what's going on, and
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. We are, and we will definitely be talking to them now that the system is in place, inviting them to come in. We know that they are already delivering services in India at the moment, and in fact, one of the reasons the UPI in India, the uptake was increased, was because of the Google Pays, uh, which is a payment service launched in India by them. And
okay.
I think if something similar of that sort comes in, then that will definitely increase the number of transactions that go through the system. I am also very hopeful that our own fintechs will take benefit of it. And with the regulator who's creating an environment where the ecosystem can develop, and enabling regulations are being brought by the State Bank of Pakistan, I'm confident that we'll see some of the players from our local market coming in and scaling up.
That's great news. Great, Ali. And what I typically like to, we're coming to the end of our session, but I'd like to typically ask the question I always ask, which is what can the diaspora do to help?
Right. So I think one of the big, um, some of the use cases that potentially can come in. This is a right now a local payment system. It's within the borders of Pakistan. Will allow transactions from banks within the country,
Right.
from one point to another point. I think the diaspora can do is the Roshan digital account. I think if there's an increased use and uptake of those, I'm quite confident that somebody will come up with a solution with respect to the remittances, uh, and maybe use RAS for that particular purpose. Now, if that happens, then making more payments through the formal channels for sending remittances, I think that's another big thing that the diaspora can do. And frankly, give us ideas, tell us what to do. Maybe also connecting us to some of the players who are working at the global level, including PayPal or others,
Hmm.
who can potentially come to Pakistan, make life easier for overseas Pakistanis to send money to their loved one in the country.
Absolutely. No, that would be a very, very valuable capability. And I know there are lots of challenges with that currently,
Yeah.
especially as you know, because of some of the financial regulations that are in place. So
Yes.
this is
Yes.
great. Well, with that, Ali, thank you very much. This was a very enlightening session. I learned a lot today, and it's great to see what Karandaaz is doing in the background. This is something that I think will be of tremendous help to the country over time. So, with that, I wanted
Thank
to
you.
thank you very much for taking this time out.
Thank you. Thank you for having me on your show. Khuda
Welcome,
Hafiz.
and we look forward to seeing you in the future. And to our
Sure.
audience, as always, as you can see, we continue to bring you different stories, different capabilities, things that are happening in Pakistan, bringing the positivity to what's happening in the country. Please continue to like, share, and subscribe. Follow us. And with that, I say Allah Hafiz to all of you. Thank you.